All right, I want to talk to you a little bit about Target. Because I think if you're anything like me, you're having this discussion at home. And I think there are three kinds of people on our side. They're the kinds of people that are so wrapped up in everything. And they're like, I got it. My gold guns, my God, got that. I've already taken, all my Target bags and destroyed them because I don't even want people to know that I had a Target bag in my house. I want Target to know I got rid of all my bags even. There's those kind of people. I like those kinds of people. Then there are the kinds of people that are really informed and they'll go in and say, no, I don't want a Bud Light. But it's hard to do, Target. I mean, it's right. It's so easy. It's accessible. They have everything that I like right there. I don't want to change. Okay. I'm actually probably more like that person in real life. I try not to be, but I am addicted to Coca-Cola. And I wish I wasn't, but I tried for a while, but everything I like is made by Coca-Cola. Every soda I like, every water. I even went across the border. I was in Mexico and I'm like, okay, do you drink this water? No, they own it there too. Okay. So I try. And then there are the people who just throw up their hands and say, I can't do anything about it anyway. Nothing's going to change. That's the dangerous one for our country. Let me talk specifically about my wife. See if you can relate to this at all. My wife is the guardian, the watchman at the walls of our home. She is walking that guard post every day, all through the night. She is like, what is going on with the kids? What's happening outside? What are their friends doing? Have you read what their friends are saying on social media? I mean, she is just like, she is a watchdog. Nothing will get by her if she can help it. That's, I think, the average mom. They are watching. They're the guardians of everything that comes into the house. And I help, but I'm not like her. It's more than a full-time job. And the most important job in the world, especially now. My wife gets a bee in her bonnet. Oh, my gosh. Let me just say this. My wife gets hangry. And I have to, unfortunately, travel with security. And even the security knows, because I've asked my wife, you have to give me a warning that maybe in an hour you're going to really be hungry. Because it was just like it would just set up, I'm angry and I'm hungry. So I was like, okay. Can you give us some time, get an advance warning? And I'm telling you, all I have to do, I'll look at my wife and she'll say, I'm about an hour away. And I will look at security and I'm like, I don't care what it is, find food. I don't care if we're in the desert and you have to airdrop it in. You've got an hour. Find food. And everything changes if my wife gives me the warning. Okay? And that's I think this is a good thing. They are really the ones, when my family went through a crisis here recently, my wife would not leave the bedside. I mean, I wanted to stay for a time, one person, and it was my wife. And I'm like, go home. You haven't really slept in 2 days. Let me take care of this. Let me take the night watch tonight. I am not leaving my child's side. Yes, ma'am. I got my keys out and I went home. Mothers in school boards. This is why this is happening. This is why all of this is happening right now, because they started to attack our children. And so mothers get a bee in their bonnet. And it's a good thing. We're about to see it again with a backlash against Target. If a mom with young kids is taking to the streets, it is serious. I have a friend who has 5 boys. 5 boys. I don't know. I mean, she just sent me a video the other day where the youngest took, thank God it was an erasable marker, but the kids were outside playing, and all of a sudden she's like, "Where's the smallest one?" "Outside." "What's he doing?" "He's got a marker." Okay. She went outside. He had drawn, he tried to turn the cars red. Okay. Okay. She's got her hands full. She has her hands full. And she called me and said, "Did you see what's happening at Target? I am never shopping there again." When that woman who's that busy says no, things begin to change. Something is broken in our public life, and now it's affecting her kids. My wife would walk through a pile of broken glass through sliding glass windows, and she wouldn't think twice if her kids were being harmed on the other side of that glass. That's a mom. The big guns always come out, and those big guns are moms, and they're emerging. However, this Target thing is different because moms are so busy. Target has so many of the things that they rely on. I mean, Target has the only jeans that fit me. I blame that on designers. They only the only ones who do. I like this certain thing. Chip and Joanna are there. I love their candles. Whatever. Okay, it's not one product. It's not like walking into a store and opening the refrigerator and grabbing Miller Lite instead of Bud. It's the possibility of having to go to several stores to get what you want. This is a major inconvenience. And I don't know if it's going to last. But there's a couple of things I would like to ask you to do. For the month of June, do not shop at Target. If you believe in what I believe, they were hiring Satanist designers, tuck-it bathing suits, binding the breast of women. No. If you believe like I do, don't shop there for the month of June. And I will be transparent. My hope is 30 days a habit makes, 30 days a habit breaks, because this has to be sustainable. If it's just a 1-week thing, it will not affect. However, yesterday I told you who the shareholders were. Remember this from CNN. I played this yesterday. Listen to this analysis from CNN.
What advice could you give companies that sort of get swept up in this?
Well, the issue is, who are you beholden to? You're beholden to many different stakeholders, but in particular, you're beholden to your investors. And investors are not pulling back from looking at how companies affect and are affected by society, how they are affected by the environment, and how ethical issues, which is governance, address their business. These are maybe not going to address the Bud Light 6-week stock drop, but ESG is a long-term investor risk and opportunity issue, and investors are not going to look at a 6-week stock drop from one company as something that is really
Heidi,
okay, it's very clear. Very clear. Now, when she says investors, what she means, well, for instance, let me just give you the biggest investors in Target. The Vanguard Group. Stu, what is the Vanguard Group? Why do I know that name come to my head besides them being well known? Something in the news. Oh, one of the leaders of ESG. BlackRock. So Vanguard has 9% ownership of Target. BlackRock has 9% ownership. State Street, these are the three big ones, the biggest ones for ESG. State Street has 8% ownership. Then Vanguard has another fund that has another 3%. Then Wells Fargo, then Bank of America, then another index fund from Vanguard. Okay? Their ownership that they're talking about, investors, they are talking about the institutional investors. And of course, they're not pulling back because it's not really their money they're losing. They believe that if they could just weather the storm, everything will be fine. But here's the storm that changes everything. You're already showing them, no, we're not going back to Miller Lite or Bud Light. We're not doing it. Not doing it. It's sustaining and getting worse every month. And I think that's because of shame. Stu walked in with a Target bag today.
Yeah.
And I said, you're coming in with a Target bag?
I didn't even realize I had it.
Yeah.
But it was just in our little bin of old bags that I just grabbed one.
Right. Mine too. My house is full of the Target bags.
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you say?
I said, no, I just went into my old bin of bags. It was it wasn't a...
And next time you go into your bin of bags, because I just said something and I didn't judge you.
You didn't even, it was just made a joke of it, basically. And I thought to myself, next time I go into that bin of bags, and especially if I'm coming in here, I'm probably just going to look for a different bag.
Right.
And it becomes associated with embarrassment.
Correct.
And when that happens, just like it's happened with Bud Light...
Gee, Rules for Radicals comes to mind. Okay?
I don't know that I want to...
I don't want to associate, but it is true when you see, when somebody says, what the hell are you doing with that? I know you better than that. Why? Oh, you're going to Target?
Right.
No, it's an old bag. Okay. When that becomes the thing people begin to say, the whole world changes. You've already done it once, but it was easy with Anheuser-Busch. This one is difficult. This one requires real discipline from the busiest people on the planet, moms. Okay? And for them to sustain it is going to be difficult. But only sustained and growing will accomplish what it needs. You lose all of the momentum with Anheuser-Busch if you don't follow it up with Target. If you follow it up with Target, then things change. Not because Target changes, but because those investors at BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street and all the ESG people that are investing your retirement money. See, they vote with their shares on the board of directors because you have unknowingly given them your voice. They vote with your voice. First thing has happened, you need to pull that back. You need to say, I retain the rights of those shares. Okay, your investment fund needs to do that. But when the shareholders start to see, wait a minute, what is happening to my pension fund? My pension fund has dropped by 10%. When that happens, people like Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street will have a choice. The American people are serious. They are going to tube these companies if we keep doing this. BlackRock, they'll probably keep going. But then the pension funds pull their money out because they're losing too much money. And they'll invest it in non-ESG and the whole thing explodes.
Yeah, you want to make ESG feel like a Target bag.
Yes.
Right? Where you call up when you're talking to your investment advisor, they get 10 calls a day where people say, whatever, just don't put me in any ESG funds. So
let me give you something. I'm going to take a quick break and I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you something that I think if you actually do it, you will begin to wound ESG like nobody's business.
I'm worried about the Target thing as a follow-up, as a sequel here.
It's a hard
Bud
one.
Light
This is
thing.
a big one.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to, again, conservatives are not good at this stuff, typically. This is not our world. And
it's really time that you get good at some of this stuff.
Well, maybe that's true, but I think you do that by I think an easy choice is an important part of this, frankly.
So let me give you...
Making that Bud Light to Miller Lite switch, which of course doesn't necessarily solve the problem, but is easy to do.
So let me show you an easy step that I think people could take today.
Okay.
Today. Bud Light's already down $15.7 billion in market value. So shareholders in that are losing a lot of money. Target is down 6. When did Target start? Target grew in the stock market value the more partners they made. Their biggest partner is Chip and Joanna Gaines. Now, Chip and Joanna Gaines are God-fearing people that stand up for the values of hard work and American and family values. They got all the love thing. They have compassion, but they also stand for the truth. And if they don't, we should know that. Now, they have spoken out about things before, but I have to tell you, my wife is not going to Magnolia ever again until Chip and Joanna make a statement on this. Your biggest partner is telling people to tuck it or to bind themselves. And it's selling right next to your stuff. Do you have a problem with that? Because if you don't, now I have an issue with you. I question your products, your value. Are you a fraud? Did God make a mistake creating bodies and putting the wrong people in the wrong bodies that they should bind their bodies? No. And Chip and Joanna, I'd sure like to hear from you. Do you agree with that?
Because, obviously they don't control what other products Target has in their stores.
But they control who they are standing with.
Right. They could make a statement, I would assume, if it's not, a contractual violation.
Absolutely. But you can make it very clear. We are under contract, but we do not support this. Chip and Joanna make a statement. That's going to move the needle. And Target will have a whole new problem on their hand because if Chip and Joanna aren't happy, when that contract comes up, we could lose Chip and Joanna, and that will really hurt our stock. So I would suggest that you call and flood the lines of Magnolia and Chip and Joanna. And they're on our side. I really believe they're good people. I really believe they're good people. But good people need to take a stand. Where are you, Chip and Joanna? Where are you?